The Pentagon and Walter Reed Medical Center today revealed that Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is suffering from prostate cancer. Austin's doctors say it was detected early and his prognosis is, quote, excellent. But there remains a chorus of criticism about why Austin withheld his diagnosis and much of his treatment for so long from the public and the president. Nick Schifrin has been following this story. Nick, let's start with the secretary's health. What do we know about how he's doing? And why are we just learning about this cancer diagnosis now?
So on your first question, Austin's doctors say they expect a full recovery, although they also said, quote, this can be a slow process. But there is no real answer to the second question, and that is why you're getting all of this criticism that you just referenced. And to understand that, let's go through the timeline again, as we did last night. In early December, that's 1 month ago, Austin learned he had prostate cancer. On December 22nd, he underwent a prostatectomy, the removal of part or all of the prostate under general anesthesia, and transferred his authorities to his deputy. On January 1st, he was admitted to the ICU at Walter Reed with what his doctors would diagnose as a urinary tract infection and fluid in his abdomen. On January 2nd, he again transferred his authorities to his deputy, but didn't say why. And on January 4th, he informed the National Security Council and his deputy about the hospitalization. And finally, January 5th, he makes his first public statement. And at no point during that entire process, Amna, did he say or admit that he had prostate cancer. Take a listen to the spokespeople today of the Defense Department and the National Security Council, Major General Pat Ryder and John Kirby, admitting how in the dark they have been.
As soon as we had this information to make available, we provided it. We got it this afternoon and provided it literally minutes before I stepped in here.
Nobody at the White House knew that Secretary Austin had prostate cancer until this morning, and the president was informed immediately after we were.
The Pentagon has cited the fact that Austin's chief of staff had the flu for the reason why some of the delay, but they do not have an explanation for why Austin did not admit he had cancer at any point in the last month.
We're so glad he has an excellent prognosis. We wish him a full and speedy recovery, but as you lay out, there seems to beg a lot more questions. What's been the response among lawmakers?
Very, very critical, even after the fact that he had cancer was revealed today. House Armed Services Chairman, Republican Mike Rogers, today launched a formal inquiry. He accused Austin of, quote, concealing the fact that he was incapacitated. Today, the top Senate Armed Services Republican Roger Wicker accused Austin of a, quote, clear violation of the law. Even Democratic Chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee, Jack Reed, today called for transparency and accountability from the Defense Department.
So bipartisan criticism there. What's the administration saying in response?
The administration is releasing a couple of steps that they say will answer some of the concerns. The White House released a memo obtained by PBS NewsHour by the Chief of Staff, laying out requirements for any cabinet secretary to inform the Chief of Staff if he or she, those cabinet secretaries, are unable to perform their duties. The Pentagon last night issued new requirements expanding the list of people who have to be informed when the secretary has to transfer his duties, and also requiring the disclosure of the reason. Those were not required before. And both the White House and the Pentagon are launching reviews that will last 30 days. But congressional officials I talked to today said that that is not enough, and there is still no answer, as we said, for why the second in the military chain of command withheld the fact that he had prostate cancer for the last month.
Looks like we'll be following the story ahead. Nick Schifrin, thanks as always.
Thanks very much.